All right, let's start with Dan. Who has the first question? Go right up front.
Dan, through these first 2 games of the ALCS, the bullpen has really just stepped up. Just how impressed have you been by the performance of the relievers, and how ecstatic are you that you're going into these 3 home games with pretty much all of them on decent rest?
Yeah, this has been down the stretch, especially has been a big strength of ours has been the bullpen, and I think the bullpen and actually the starters work very well together, and the way it has worked out has gone fairly smoothly, and you get, like we've said before, you trust all of our guys, and whenever you give them the ball, they're going to do the job, and yesterday was no exception. A couple of guys giving us a couple of innings was huge, and allowing the offense to kind of break it open a little bit, and so it was a good bullpen series so far, and looking for that to continue as we go forward.
Questions for Dan in the third row on your left.
Dan, in a series and a half now, you've seen basically all your pitchers build up that postseason experience. How have you seen that kind of, get more relaxed on the mound, or be able to understand the moment a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the experience of it's huge, and we've talked about that all along. Just getting your feet wet, getting a chance to get out there and get that first one under your belt, and it does take a minute. And I think the way we've seen our guys adjust to it has been great. This is a group that's tight. The whole pitching staff together is tight. They share information. They talk about it. They let each other know what it's like, and so they're a little bit more prepared too. So, it's good knowing that these guys have had a little bit of experience now under their belt, and they're ready to go.
We'll stay over there on your left.
Dan, from your standpoint here, to be back in Seattle ahead 2-0, I mean, what is the word or the feeling I think that, embodies the team right now when you think about being in this position to come back home and have potentially 3 in front of you here?
Yeah, obviously it's a very advantageous position. We're excited about that, but there's work to do here, and I think the focus is tomorrow night. That's where our focus goes, and that's kind of how we've done this, all along. Is just that we're taking it one day at a time. It sounds very cliche, but you take it one step at a time, and tomorrow night, we're looking forward to getting back out there, taking in the atmosphere here at T-Mobile. We know it's going to be an awesome atmosphere here for baseball. So that's where our focus lies. We get back to work. I think, as we've talked about the pitching, it's been so solid and offensively able to do some great things. So both sides of the ball, we just need to continue to keep doing that. And I think that's the focus going forward.
Up front on your left, Dan.
Kind of similar. I was going to similar question, but I'll try to go a little deeper. Just the importance of the details. You've talked about that from day one. Just important of the details, each pitch, each at bat.
Yeah, no doubt. I think we've seen, we talk about the postseason where little things make big differences. We've seen that in a lot of these postseason games, not just our games, but in all the games. And so you focus on the details. You know that each pitch has, magnified significance. That each out makes a big difference. Each at bat can be huge. So I think we've talked about it with our offense that you start stacking those tough at bats back to back, and over time you start to wear down pitchers, and that's when we're at our best. So yes, each pitch, each at bat. Those are all very big things here in the postseason, and our guys know that, and that's why our focus continues to be, tomorrow night, and we'll get back out on the field and get started again.
Right up front, Dan.
Kind of continuing on that train of thought of just the subtle differences, ALDS, you guys came back home. It was win or go home. You knew the situation. This situation, a little bit different, have an opportunity to close it out. Just what is the kind of difference or variation in pressure compared to having that lead with an opportunity to close it out at home compared to, win or go home?
Again, I think we take the same mindset. We go out and we play good baseball tomorrow night. That's our focus, and I think that's where we're at as a team, and that's what our goal is to come out tomorrow and continue to do the things we've been doing, and that's the hope, and that's what our preparation will be geared towards, and we'll do the things that we've been doing on the mound, preparation wise. We'll be doing the things offensively that we've been doing preparation wise, and we'll be ready to play at game time.
Second row on your left, Dan.
Dan Bryan's going to be up here in a little bit, and I'm just wondering A, if there's any updates with him, and B, just how vital he is to you guys going forward, even on a limited pitch count.
Yeah, I think all reports have been good as we had expected, and continues to make his progression. Obviously the live ABs the other day was a big step for him. He felt pretty good yesterday. I think he's going to get out and throw again a little bit today. Getting him back, one of the guys that has really led this staff this year, obviously will be huge for us. And whatever that looks like as we get into the later part of this series, but getting him back and getting him healthy is the key. And he's getting close.
And the third row on your left.
The Blue Jays are a team that don't strike out, but then your pitching staff dominates the zone, right? So this has set up this really interesting kind of chess match. The Blue Jays hitters have said they don't mind going down 0-1 because they'd rather and not swing at a pitcher's pitch early in the count because they'd rather be 0-1 than 0-for-1. So how important is executing that first pitch for your pitching staff? How pleased have you been with how that's gone?
Yeah, I think that is what we talk about a lot as an organization, is winning that 0-0 pitch, and the quality of that pitch is certainly important. But getting strike one is big, and we've talked about controlling the count and how different it is when you're ahead in the count. And I think with the hope being that even if it's a team that doesn't strike out as much, you're hoping to get weaker contact. When you're ahead in the count, you're going to get weaker contact. So I think our guys have done an outstanding job of getting ahead and doing that, and that's what we will continue to prepare for and keep doing as we go along in the series.
Second row up front, Dan.
Dan, having that advantageous position, it feels like maybe your group of guys, more than most, understand that situation. That there's a good group over there that they're not going to take it lightly. They're going to keep grinding and all that. What is it about your guys that, they're still going to be locked and they're not going to let this 2-0 lead kind of get ahead of itself or anything like that?
Yeah, I think that's who these guys are. We talk a lot about Cal and the season he's had, not getting wrapped up in it and keeping his humility about him as he's gone through it, and has allowed him to continue and be consistent. I think that's a big part of it with a lot of our guys. We understand how fickle this game can be, and so each night is important, each detail is important, that's why I think we go about it very consistently. We prepare the same, and I think that they'll, again, like I said, they'll be ready tomorrow night to go.
And the third row on your left, Dan.
Dan, we saw how the matchups between the hitters and the relievers kind of evolved in the ALDS, which with every single outing and every single game. How much can hitters learn about relievers in a series length? And then with that being said, how big is it that you get through the first two games only throwing each reliever once?
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, I think it does make a big difference. I think obviously seeing guys more and more does help you get a better picture of what they're going to do. You can look at a guy on paper and understand on paper what he's going to do and what the ball might do, but then seeing it in the box is a different story. So I think as hitters, yes, that's great. And I think all hitters on all teams will share information. That's how you learn and you get prepared for your at-bat. So that's all been going on and as normal. But it is good to get in the box and actually see that, get an at-bat, and get a feel for what the ball's actually doing. Yes, I think it's great that we've been able to, only have a couple guys go out there, on a couple outings, hopefully that helps us as we go forward.
A couple last ones will stay in the same row.
What makes Josh Naylor so good at that high and away pitch? It's a pitch that's a foot outside. You don't expect him to do damage on it. And then we saw it against Skubal with the double. We saw it in the series with the Blue Jays. What is it about his swing? How does he get to that?
He's just, number one, as I've said, he's smart and headsy, and he can, maybe think along sometimes with pitchers. But I also think, he's got the ability, his swing has adjustability to it. And when he sees a pitch up in the zone, he's able to stay really short and get on top of it. And that's the key. You're right, that the double off of Skubal was huge, to be able to go up there off of the velo that he was throwing and to be able to hit that to left field like that, that really requires you to get on top of the ball, and we've seen him do it over and over again, and that's just because his swing is so adjustable.
Anything else for Dan before we let him go? All right, Dan, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Who's got the first question for Bryan?
Is this like a product placement thing, or should I leave this?
I can go to the first row on your left.
Bryan, first question. Obviously you had the live bullpen. Just how are you feeling after that, and how encouraged were you by what you were able to do during that session?
Yeah, the live went great. I think just slowly trying to build over the last couple of weeks. Like I said, do it the right way. Obviously frustrating not being out there, but yeah, everything looks good, feels good so far. So yeah, I'll be ready to go whenever my name gets called.
We'll go right here.
Bryan, if this was me, you'd head out on a rehab assignment, get some work in before jumping into things. You don't have that opportunity here. How do you try to build a routine, some sort of a factor to get yourself ready to jump into the middle of a postseason race and be ready to go and be the guy you want to be?
I think it's just taking your reps throughout the week as serious and as game-like as you can. Like you said, usually get the rehab starts to kind of fine-tune things, but you just kind of convince yourself you don't really have a choice. You got to just come out and have everything ready to go. And, if it's not, then you figure it out. But trying to take, the work throughout the week and bullpens and the lives and all that stuff, like I said, I've been trying to take it as game-like as possible so that, there's not as big of a gap getting back into the games. But, yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, just been itching to get back on the field the last couple of weeks and doing what I can to keep the energy up and bring good vibes in the dugout. But, it's obviously not the same as being on the field.
Go to the back left corner, Bryan.
Bryan, you're talking about building back up. So where kind of are you on that path? Is there a percentage in regards to how well you feel? And what, if anything, is the last box or two to check?
I don't know if I have a percentage on it. I just know I'm ready to get in the game, and last box to check is just to get my name called. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I've done, everything that I can the last couple of weeks to handle my business in the training room, in the weight room, on the field. Everything that I can control, and kind of put the rest in the hands of the trainers and coaches and whatnot. So luckily we have a great staff that I trust with, with the rest of it, and the rest of it I kind of just have to let go. But yeah, now I'm ready to go.
Go to the second row on your left, Bryan.
Bryan, you mentioned it's been frustrating not being on the field, but at the same time, these have been, two of the most exhilarating weeks in franchise history. What's it been like balancing those emotions, knowing you want to be out there, but also being able to enjoy all of it?
Yeah, I mean, it makes it a lot easier when you're winning, obviously. It's weird. I was saying you get kind of more antsy and nervous not playing because there's no way to kind of like let those emotions out. But yeah, I mean, you do the best you can. Obviously, nobody wants to get hurt, especially at the timing that it was. And as frustrating as it is, you still have a choice to be the best teammate that you can be. Put the rest of it aside, handle your business before the game, but once it's game time, be the best teammate you can be. Make a choice to make a positive impact on the game somehow, and that's all you really can do.
Right up front.
Obviously, like you mentioned, there is the frustration with the injury being at this part of the year, but how is going through the past injuries you have last year kind of help you understand and just like stay the course in this recovery, not rush yourself or do too much, and just kind of like educate your process this time around?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the previous experiences, I guess, help. But I think it all comes down to trusting myself, my routine, and then also just trusting the training staff and knowing that they have my best interests in mind, and then control what you can control each day, which is just try to get better, get healthier, do what I have to do to just kind of inch to get back on the field each day, and it's just small steps. You don't try to do anything too big each day. It's just little by little, and trust that when you're ready, then you'll be ready, and your body will tell you.
Second row on your right, Bryan.
These are two teams that are well matched as far as an offense that really doesn't strike out a lot, and then a pitching staff that really preaches the importance of getting ahead with that first pitch strike. Having watched some of these battles so far, what are you kind of thinking about or seeing, and how excited are you as somebody who really competes in the zone to get out there and do your thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I think most of it just comes from being a competitor and wanting to just play regardless. But it's an exciting time, I think, obviously, for both franchises. Obviously, it's definitely, I wouldn't say uncharted territory for both, but it's been a while, and, it's a unique opportunity. But either way, I think it's just the circumstances of the team, how well both teams have been playing, how much fun it's been to be a part of the journey here in Seattle. So, like I said, doing everything that I can these last couple of weeks to be ready and to be available. I think that's all that you can really do. But yeah, I'm excited to get out there. I've been, you're itching as a competitor to want to contribute in some other way than just kind of being a good vibes guy in the dugout. There's a lot more to it.
Go a couple more. Go back to Angie.
Bryan, you said it last year, the education of going through those injuries has kind of helped you a little bit more this year. Is there something still that you are feeling? Because that's always usually the last thing, is just to be able to let it go out there.
No, I mean, at this point in the year, it is what it is. Everybody's hurting. Nobody feels good. So, you just kind of, it helps to have, such a good connection in the clubhouse with all the guys, and the bond that everybody shares, that no matter how you're feeling, good, bad, anywhere in between, that you're playing for the guy next to you, and you know that they're not feeling better, any better than you are. So, I think that's the most important thing, is that bond kind of carries you out, regardless of how you feel.
We'll finish up one row ahead.
Bryan, you saw how loud things got here with game 1, 2, 5, the fan base really being rabid. What are you expecting with you guys being up here 2-0? And I guess second part of that would be, how is the team feeling to return to Seattle with kind of being in the driver's seat, being up in this series 2-0?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was big to go in there and get those 2 wins. I'm expecting to come back and, experience as great as these fans have been all year. The last series was so much fun to be a part of and to experience, and you can just tell from the energy and, each pitch, each strikeout from first to the whatever it was, 15th or 16th inning, that how excited and how supportive this fan base is. But I think everybody knows that we still have a job to do. This series is long from over, so we got to come in and be ready to go tomorrow, and not try to change what we've been doing. I think as great as it is to come back home, don't try to change anything because we're at home or in front of our own fans or whatever it is. Just kind of keep playing the baseball that we've been playing, which has been great, complimentary, simple baseball. I think that's where we're at.